I'm excited to be here. I have Zach here to give me some support. Zach is always here to come and help us. Hi, Lisa. How are you doing? And so I see your chats on the side. Just keep them coming to me. I love it. So Zach is here, and he's always here to come and support. He's definitely part of the team, and he's doing deals all the time, and he's buying houses. He's structuring deals. We partner on deals. We got a closing actually tomorrow, and that's the next closing tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
So tomorrow is the next closing. What are we doing? Buying or selling?
I'm selling. This is a retail deal, so it's done.
So we're okay. So yeah. So we rehab. Why don't you tell them about the deal? So get a little closer here.
Yeah. So the deal I'm selling tomorrow was a rehab. I bought it from another investor.
Oh, you know what? How about I interview you? We do an interview.
Okay.
So, and I know a lot of the answers to the question, but I see like Michelle, she's like, hey, I'm a newbie. I'm not even sure what to ask for. Looking forward to kind of learning some stuff. Great. So there's no better learning than like what is. So I like to interview people and I like to ask all the hard questions, meaning like, where did you find the deal? Like, you know, like how did you come about and all of that kind of stuff. So, where did you find this deal?
So this deal I actually got from another investor. I have over time built a database using different strategies. So for James, he asked what's a good strategy for building a buyer's list for wholesaling. So there's a few different things. I actually met this investor at another networking event, and we just had a conversation, and later on down the road we did a few deals together. He sources deals heavily, and he doesn't always keep them. So I just hit him up before now because I just thought of him because I'm selling his deal tomorrow. I'm like, hey, I'm going to have some money. You got another deal for me? And it's just really hey, Sonny, how you doing? Good. I want that deal when you're done with it because I'm going to buy it. So I reach out to investors on a regular and see what they have. And we just collaborate a lot with other investors as well, even when selling. But this came from an investor. He said, hey, I have this little cute deal. It's in Elizabeth, New Jersey. It's kind of like a townhouse, but there's no HOA fees. So it was a real simple little like row house. It was a 3-bed, 2-bath. It was actually pretty big, like 1,500 square feet.
Yeah, it's pretty decent size.
It's very nice with a full-size basement with full high ceilings in there. And
So let me back up. All right, so you found this investor from networking. So how did you stay? Was it the first time you ever met this person, or did you communicate back and forth with them?
Yeah, so it took some time like anything else. To build rapport. We're in the business of dealing with people. You're in the people business and marketing business. That's really the two main things I could say about houses. So it's all relationship based. Some people you click with right off the gate and you're doing a deal in 30 days. Some people, it might take a year of just following up, building that rapport, seeing how each other work, and later on down the road you do a couple. And just, you have to get along. I mean, it is a relationship base. So for this individual, it probably took me 6 or 7 months of just following up. Hey, how you doing? What do you have? Some deals they sent didn't really fit my wheelhouse or something I wanted to keep. So I just said, hey, look, this doesn't fit for this reason. A few of them I remember was just the area. I just didn't buy in that area.
Got you. It's common.
But eventually he did send me a few. And I'm like, let's roll. So after the first couple, you kind of get really comfortable.
So what I hear you saying is you stood in communication with him.
Always.
Yep. Like how often?
I would say if we're not doing a deal together, at least twice a month. Every 2 weeks, I would hit up every investor in my database.
So, let's go back to this one investor that you bought this house from.
Yeah.
So I heard what you said. So listen to what he said. He is reaching out to his whole database of all his investors at least every other week.
Yep.
All right. And what's the message you're saying? So
it's a couple things. Hey, just touching base, seeing if they have a deal, if they know anybody that has a deal. If it's a surprise to anybody, I buy houses. So
I buy houses too.
I'm always asking, and then I would ask them maybe a couple questions. If I noticed a few times they said I don't have a deal or don't know anybody, I would ask them the follow-up question. Okay, what do you think you need help with to source a deal?
Oh, so you're being a resource to them?
Absolutely.
Wow. Why?
Well, a few different reasons. One, I have noticed that you can do a lot more deals by partnering with people. I only have so much time, so many resources, so much energy. So if I can help somebody in their business a little bit and get them up and rolling and they source a few deals, it just helps everybody. The more checks you make as a group, the more you can break up.
Got it. So let's go back to this one guy that you bought this property from in Elizabeth. And how did you stay in communication with him? Did you text him? Did you email him? Did you call him? Did you go to lunch with him?
Yes, all the above. At some point or another, I'm a big text person.
Okay.
I personally I will email people or send something from to my database, like some content or something like that. But I would say about 85% of the time, I am a text person. You will get a text from me, and it usually goes something like, "Yo, dude, what's up? Like, you got a deal?" That's usually how it will go.
So we got a lot of people on here from different educational platforms and different educational levels. So and do you type out "Hey, dude"? Or
Yes.
is it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's important because
that's
the reason
it right there.
the reason why I say that is because you're gonna have some people that have gone to Harvard here and they're not a "Hey, dude" type of person, and everything is
very proper.
Everything is very proper.
Then that's fine.
So then you send a proper email.
Correct.
But you're "Hey, dude." I'm also a "Hey, dude." Hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
I don't send a clean formal, because that's not who my personality is. And more importantly than that, that's not what my database is built from. Think about who the average investor that comes across a deal. Are they more of they want a formal text message that sounds like corporate America sent them a text, like Smith Barney? Or are they just regular people? And so if they're regular people and you want to connect with a regular person, make sure that your message is a regular person. Now, if obviously you knew this guy, so
so I had a rapport with him in the beginning. That wasn't the first message I sent, but as you get to know people, you become friendly. I've made some great friends even through real estate that I hang out with, even if we're not doing a deal together.
Gotcha.
So it's all relationship based. It's how you guys get along together. If I'm dealing with somebody else in my database or even a partner that isn't like that, obviously I won't message them like that.
So James, this specifically goes to James. James asked the question of what is a good strategy for building a buyer's list for wholesaling? So we're talking about your buyer's list.
Yep.
Let's go into James' question.
Okay.
How did you build your buyer's list? And let's start from zero.
Zero.
Let's talk about when you first started. Zach was an executive chef.
Yep.
For a lot of celebrities, and one of his last clients was a billionaire. So he was a chef and taking care of big execs and even a billionaire.
Yeah.
So that is pretty cool, right? Yeah. So now then you go into real estate investing and you decide to take it serious. And so now you're saying, okay, I got to build a buyer's list. You have nobody on your buyer's list.
Gotcha.
How did you build that buyer's list?
Yeah.
If you guys like that question, put a big thumbs up saying I like it.
I want to make sure we're talking about stuff that people want to hear, but that's definitely one of the questions. So in the beginning, I was just starting, had no buyer's list. I can honestly say for me, the biggest asset to growing my buyer's list and my Rolodex of contacts was networking groups, specifically real estate networking groups. I used the Google and I went on and I found all the real estate networking groups that were local to my area.
About how many did you find?
About 6.
Okay.
So I mean, I did it because everybody has their meetup group on a different day of the week, usually during the month. So I just did at least 1 to 2 a week, and I would just go to them and I would just collect business cards, tell people what I was doing, or at that point in the beginning what I wanted to do because I hadn't started really yet. And just collecting their information. Then when I had that information, I input it into just a regular, I use MailChimp. I like the software.
How much is MailChimp?
MailChimp is free for the first 1,000 people, I believe.
Free for the first 1,000.
So I like free. So I just input it into there just as a place to kind of hold them until I had content or something to send them. In the beginning, I didn't have any content. I didn't have any deals.
When you say content, what do you mean?
So content might be some tips maybe. So content might be a deal that I'm marketing out, but then also somebody asked me a question, and because I talk to my database often, I hear it a lot. Let's say it's how do you grow your database, might be I hear it 10, 12 times in the course of a week. I'll put together a little PDF or a little email on maybe 3 or 4 top ways on how to grow your buyers list and send that to my database.
So to build your buyers, so listen to this. To build his buyer list, he started teaching the buyers list how to build the buyers list.
Yeah, pretty much.
So in essence, you gave them something that would make you seem attractive, where they wanted to pay attention to you, is what you're saying?
It was attention, but then also I understand the value of leverage. Just if I go back to restaurants and catering days, I couldn't produce a catering for 1,500 people by myself. I had to leverage time and tools and resources and people and money to get stuff done. So I understood the value of that even in the beginning. So if I could teach somebody how to source deals, and I've been of value to them, and I'm cool to work with, and I'm reliable, chances are when they get a deal, I'll be one of the first people they come to with it.
Got you. So you went on Google. You went on the Google.
I went on the Google. Yeah.
And then so you found the investment groups.
Yep.
You started sending them messages.
I went.
Oh, you went to the live.
Yeah, I went to like their, monthly meetup.
Perfect. So when you went there, so when I go to those meetups too, and I see a lot of times people don't pull deals or they don't network as well as they probably could or should. Why don't you tell me, when you are you go to this live networking, are you getting what's your objective? Well, yeah, that's a great question. What is your objective, and how are you connecting with people?
So I can honestly say now it is different than when I started. When I started, I was like a little lost, but no, I just wanted to be around like-minded people in the beginning.
Okay.
And tell them kind of what I wanted to do. Hey, I want to get into real estate. I want to buy some houses. I want to get into that field. Now, I usually have an objective. So if I go to a networking event, I don't want to waste time. I'm not going just to kind of hang out in the back of the room and not talk to anybody or not meet anybody. I'm either going for one of like 3 things. I will go looking for a deal that I want to buy. So I will ask everybody that I meet if they have a deal.
So say that again.
So I will ask everybody that I meet if they have a deal, including the head of the group.
So here's what's interesting. The people that go to the networking, I see a lot of times they'll meet the hard money lender. They come they go to the event saying, I want to get a deal. That's what they're thinking in their head, but their communication and their actions don't match that. What do I mean by that? They're going inside there and they're meeting the plumber, and they're not even asking the plumber if he has a deal. Then they meet somebody else. He's a hard money lender. They don't ask the hard money lender, do you have a deal? Do you know somebody that has a deal? And then they go and they meet an attorney, a real estate attorney. Great, sweetness. And they get a card from the real estate attorney, but they never ask the attorney, the real estate attorney, do they have a deal? Do they know somebody that has a deal? Or do they know somebody that might have a deal? And those are some of the core pieces on why a lot of you got on this call right here, is to find out exactly the meat and potatoes of how do we build this? How do we start this business effectively versus ineffectively? I've seen a lot of investors go to investing meetings, and you know what? They say they want a deal, and they come out with an attorney card, a plumber card, and a hard money card, and no deal. And then I see when we go, we ask those simple questions, and all of you should have something to write down so that you get more from this training. So what we do is we ask, do you have a deal? Do you know somebody that has a deal? And do you know somebody that might know somebody that has a deal? It's all about the deal.
Yeah.
And then I shut up and I let them answer. Take a second. Think about it. Where are you going? So Norman's asking, so how about hard money lenders? Where do they get that list? A hard money lender, remember, they're out there networking too. And they know, that's why I asked the 3-level questions. Maybe the hard money lender doesn't have a deal, but a hard money lender definitely knows the other wholesalers or the other investors that actually do have deals. That is part of their job, is to know who does have deals, because they are hunting where you are sending those deals. Yep. So hard money lender, they'll be great to make a connection and says, oh yeah, you know what? Bob over there right there in the corner, he does a lot of deals. He probably has something. Mary over there, she's a wholesaler. Lisa, she does wholesaling too. You should probably check her out.
Yep.
So that's how,
like, honestly, hard money lenders, they have a huge database and review a ton of deals. Tons. They're loaning on 70, 80 closings a month, which means they're looking at over probably 4 or 5 times that a month.
Correct.
They know exactly who in the room are the big players and who takes out the most amount of leads.
And you're just asking for the direction of who actually has that. All right. So back to building this database. So you're networking, you're asking those people, you're sending them some emails, You're asking them if they have deals after the email, so you're providing a lot of value to them. What's another way that they can build a real buyer's list?
So a real buyer's list, I mean, here's a free way, Hall of Records. You can go to Hall of Records and you can pull the data for all the cash transacted deals in the last 30, 60, 90 days in a certain town or an area.
Yeah, so that's pretty interesting. So you can go and you can buy this data. So in essence, in today's time, you could buy a lot of information. So information that you could buy that would be beneficial is to buy. Think about this. What if you had a list of every investor, meaning that they have an investor is someone that is purchased a property and is not living in the property. And it it could be an LLC, it could be an individual, that a list of every person that has purchased more than two properties in the last few months, and whether they bought them cash or finance. Because if they bought one property, they might live in it. If they bought two properties, they are automatically an investor. Yep. If they bought 5 properties, you know they're an investor. If they bought 5 properties in the last 2 or 3 years, they're still an investor. So those are reasons on why you would be able to get that. And believe it or not, there are so many of those people that have purchased 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 houses in the last year that never go to any meetings, never go anywhere.
Look at regular people.
Regular people. Look at Lisa. Lisa's like, where do you buy that list? So you could buy that list from Melissa Data will sell that list. There are some like list providers. Our direct mail company is Yellow Letter Complete, and they yellowlettercomplete.com. They were able to get that list for you. And if you wanted to send a postcard to them, they do all that for you. So it's yellowlettercomplete.com. His name is Zach, different Zach.
Yeah, different.
But he is fantastic.
Tell him I said hi though.
So they were all done for you. So like you can say, I need the list, and let's send a postcard saying, I'm a local investor and want to come and, want you to join my database, or I want to sell you. You might be, if you're interested in purchasing property, give me a call. So he can send that out, and he probably can send you that list also. Just ask for the list with the phone numbers, and if you did some deal with him, you can, he'll provide that for you. So, we are rolling.
A couple other questions.
Let's see what other questions. Is this a good idea to take equity out of my home to get started investing? Is it a good idea to take equity out of your home to start investing? I'm going to say yes. Why? As long as here's what I'm going to say. First, educate yourself. Don't be an investor that you just watched 2 or 3 YouTube videos and you went out there and now you're going to try to put $20,000 or $30,000 and try to figure out a deal. And I'll tell you with full transparency, we do seminars, we do training, we do mentoring and coaching. And I see it all day long. The people that are educated, and it's in any arena. The people that are educated make educated decisions and become successful. The people that are not educated lose, and they lose everything. Yep. So it's fine to take equity out of your house. I would just say the first monies, and sometimes it's sometimes people they put the cart in front of the horse. They say, let me go do a deal and make money, and then I'll go educate myself. That reminds me of the story. Hey, Mom, Dad, I'm quitting college. Check this out. I watched this YouTube video and I read this book from Barnes & Nobles. In fact, I read 4 books from Barnes & Noble, and I watched 20 YouTube videos. I'm quitting I'm quitting college, and I'm going to go be a multi-millionaire. That parent would smack that kid over the head, rightfully so, right? But it'd be different if they came and they said, hey, I found a mentor that bought over 100 houses. Zach has purchased over 100 houses. I have done over 700 houses. Mom, I'm connected with someone. There's a guy by the name of Jason and a guy by the name of Zach that collectively combined, they've done over 800 houses. They're doing deals. Their last closing is tomorrow, literally. The last house they bought was 2 weeks ago, and they're doing all of this, and they're training me step by step in this process and letting me shadow them through the process. And they're going to open up all their tools and their manuals and their resources and everything to me. And I'm going to invest in that, Mom. Why don't you come check it out with me, Mom, and make sure that this is all solid, Mom and Dad? And that parent is probably going to say, you know what? yeah, let's take the next step and see what's going on with this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So, woo, that vitamin shake is flowing through me. My energy is through the roof. All right. So let's go back and answer some more questions. Let's see here. I want to come. So as a first time, Michelle, so as a first time networking meeting attendee without a business card, should I collect business cards?
Yep.
Should you collect business cards? Absolutely. You should get everybody's business card. Everyone. And even if you weren't able to make a good connection right there, immediately send them a message. And it could be a group message, or it could be a group text, or a templated text message to all of them. And here's how I would say it. Hi, my name is Jason Rodriguez. We were just at the meeting and really didn't get too much time to talk to you, but was just curious if you or someone you knew or somebody you might know might have a deal so that I could buy. I would love if you could help me find a deal. That would be fantastic. And if there's any way I could come and support you in you growing your business, please let me know. It'd be great for us to have a conversation. When might you be able to speak for 10, 15 minutes? You'll be in an investment meeting and there's 20 people there. You send that message out, you will get 4, 5, 6 people to come and respond to you saying, hey, what are your criterias? What are you looking for? Mm-hmm. And so look at the slide that's there. It says Millionaire Maker. Do something, learn something, share something. So it's do something, learn something, share something. So the middle part is learn something. The top part is do something, meaning go be in action. The only way you get a check in real estate is by getting involved and doing and being in full-blown action. If your friends or your belief is that you don't have to educate yourself, this is not the training call for you. If you think all your education is going to be free, you are wrong, and this is not the training for you.
No.
At all. Now, I'm not saying that you got to go spend $50,000 like going to college. You can't even go to college with 50 grand.
I think that might be
And you get yourself a job with $50,000 that might pay you $50,000 a year. So the deal that you're doing right now, going back to that, what do you think the profit is going to be on that?
It's going to be net profits $53,000.
$53,000.
And I know because I looked at the HUD. They sent it to me before. I'm like, okay, there we go.
All right. So you talk about that. How long was the whole deal?
The whole deal took me about 4.5 months.
4.5 months. How many working hours? Stop. Just think about that because I want you to hear this piece. Working hours. The average person with a 9 to 5 works 40 hours, 52 weeks a year. So 40 times 52 is 2,080 hours. So let's round it to about 2,100 hours, not including the commute, which is probably about another 500 hours. So that's like, 400 hours. Let's just take the commute out. It's 2,100 hours to make the average person makes $50,000, $80,000. How many hours did you put in for that?
It was a light rehab. It was a very light rehab. So I probably put maybe 50 hours into it and add another 10 for the commute. So maybe 60 hours tops.
So 60 hours, that's probably like a week and a half of work for someone.
And that was like from sourcing the deal.
Hang on a second.
Diligence.
So that's from everything.
Everything from the time he said I have a deal, looking at it to our closing tomorrow.
So 60 hours, $53,000. So that's about 60 hours in the normal person's work week is going to be a week and a half. When was the last time you made in a week and a half time $53,000? That's hardcore.
Yeah.
So when you answer that question, you said, does that come lightly, or is that something that you probably need to invest in your education on?
Yeah, definitely.
Right? Yeah, big time. All right. So I want to answer some more questions. Yeah, I get passionate about education because a lot of times people see us and they're like, wow, you're doing all these deals. You did 700 deals, more than that. And you're saying, all right, well, I want to come and do that. But no one wants to, a lot of times they don't want to pull back the curtain and see, so you actually invested a lot of time and energy and money in your education. All right, so let's see what else. Look, Norman says, I want to learn from the best. Norman, you want to learn from the best, baby? I'm telling you, you come to the right place. That is us. And look, I am not modest about it. I am not shy when it comes to that. Here's what I do know, Norman. I know that I only have a little bit of time for you. And I know that confidence is very, very important. And supporting you is very, very important. And I'm very confident that I know that I can help people to be successful. Zach was one of my students. Now we're partnering on deals with, he's killing it. You know, I'm so proud of him, and we want to create more Zachs out there in this market. Why? Because I care. I want to see you win. I want to see you make a difference in your community. I want to see you give to charities. I want to see you write the biggest check in your life to charities and help your family and help other things. So that's where I'm at. All right. So let's see here. Woo. How do I learn to do real estate? Did you have a mentor? I absolutely had a mentor, and I still have a mentor. And it's like, I would love to shadow. That's definitely a conversation that we could have. So yes, I did have a mentor. I still mentor Zach.
Yep.
All the time. We're talking about deals all the time.
Full time.
Full time.
Full time. I understand the value of them. So like even now, like I have 2 full-time mentors. I have a business mentor, and then I have a personal coach to handle Zach. Make sure my brain's right. And then when it comes to the technicalities and the real estate piece, just have a professional that is in that area.
Yeah.
It's necessary. It keeps you in line.
Yeah, and it's very important. People ask me, someone literally asked me today, they were like, wow, Jason, I've been in the business I have been in real estate for over 20 years. And they were like, you have a mentor? I was like, of course. I have a mentor. I go to mastermind groups. I'm in 2 mastermind groups, considering a 3rd one right now. What does that mean? That means that I'm constantly looking for the competitive edge. I'm constantly looking to move forward. I'm constantly looking what marketing is working. I'm constantly looking for what are the new strategies. When the market went south, if I didn't have a mentor, and if I didn't have a mastermind group, I would not have known when to jump off of rehabbing and wholesaling and jump into buying short sales and going right into a different area where I can continue to be wealthy if I didn't have that mentor. Yeah, great book. So Michelle put Think and Grow Rich. That's a great book. And I will come and say books are fantastic, but there's nothing like having someone that is live and you can say, so a book is a one-way conversation. The book is talking to you and then you're processing the data one way. A mentor he's telling me, hey, I'm asking, hey, what is your biggest challenge? And let's handle your biggest challenge. Let's think it out. Let's break it down. Let's put it back together and let's make it even better than it was before. Those are the differences inside them. Woo! Let's roll. All right. So, we're still here kind of answering some of the questions that you have there. Thank you guys for the information. So first time networking, should you use some of your money? How about hard money lenders? So I'm just kind of going back and checking your questions here. How to get started in real estate if you have no money to start with? That's always a great question. Who asked that question there? How do you start? Lisa. So Lisa says, how do I start investing if I have no money? So we do this 3-day training. So in the 3-day training, one of the things we talk about is that very question is, how do we start with no money? So how about you answer some of that question?
Because I had no money. By the way. Yeah, I've been in real estate 5 years. 5 years and I think like a month or something.
This is a shout out to Lisa.
Yeah, so I've been in real estate 5 years. In the beginning, I knew zero of real estate. Zero. So I didn't know ARVs, repairs, neighborhoods, marketing. I didn't know any of that. I started at zero and I had a very small budget. So in the beginning, I knew the value of a mentor. I needed to find one right away and just kind of help explode that business. I feel I lucked out because it was Jay. So
I lucked out too because it was him.
Yeah.
It's a win-win.
So in the beginning, I sourced some money. As much as I could put together, but I was working 2 full-time jobs and I was kind of saving some paychecks. But in the beginning, for marketing, because here's the reality is that we're in the people in marketing business. If our phone's not ringing, you can't expect to talk to homeowners or investors and put deals under contract and get checks. So how to make my phone ring in the beginning with very little money? Oh, that's better.
Yeah.
I don't know if they see that or
see that. I just found that button. Sorry, we were gonna go through something else, but we're rocking right now, so I'm just gonna stay with this.
So in the beginning, there are some things that you can do to generate inbound leads that are free. Now, the thing is, it's twofold. It's high levels of activity. So in the beginning, I only had about 10 or 15 hours. So those 10 or 15 hours had to be very focused, no distractions, and just massive action. And the other piece is that it's typically slower. If you have a huge marketing budget, you can passively set that up and generate calls very quickly. To do those step-by-step actions that are every day or a few times a week, it is slower. But in the beginning, my number one thing was seeing other investors and if they had any deals. That was the number one.
So let's talk about what kind of strategies could you use with no money out of your pocket?
No money. I would definitely say networking. I go back
to not the networking, like the buy strategy.
Yeah, so buying. So I would ask other investors if they had deals. That would be the number one thing. That'd be my number one all day.
We opened the screen. Everyone was like, much better.
Oh, okay. So that's the first thing. The second thing is you can go and pull free leads for sale by owners. You can do any filter on any of the mobile devices, Trulia, Zillow, for sale by owner, fsbo.com. They are free. You can contact those homeowners for free and pre-screen them to see if they'd be interested in taking some sort of discount.
Yeah. So let's talk. I'm going to jump in and those are some marketing strategies. I'm going to talk about some tactical buying strategies. So when I say tactical buying strategies, if you're starting off with no money, wholesaling is a great way to start. And what does wholesaling exactly mean? Wholesaling means that you find a property at a discounted price and then sell it to another investor at a little bit higher price, but they're going to buy it, fix it, and probably either keep it as a rental or sell it. So you're kind of the middle person. You find the deal, you put it on the contract with very little to no money, and then you sell it to another investor that they're going to buy it, fix it, and sell it. That process is called wholesaling. And what might it include? That part of the business, most people don't say it correctly, but it is kind of a marketing strategy. So you do marketing to buy and find a property cheap.
Yep.
And there's a lot of different strategies on how to come and do that. And then you put it on the contract for a very little bit amount of your money. It could be, if it's from a homeowner, it could be as low as $100. From a bank, it might be $1,000, or something like that. And then you put it on the contract. And once you put it on the contract, you have the right to assign that contract or do a double close to sell it to another investor. That's called wholesaling. Is it advice? So that would be the first thing I would say is a strategy if you have no money. The other way, if you have very little to no money, might be doing a property and buying it creatively by maybe taking over payments, where that might need a little bit of money. It's a little bit more complicated to explain, but taking over payment is, let's say Mary has a property she wants to sell. She's like, I'm a landlord. I do not like my tenants. I want out of this property. It might need a little bit of repairs. And we may ask her if she would be willing to let us take over the payments for a small amount of down payment. So let's say her property is worth $150,000. She's willing to sell it for $100,000. She owes $90,000. She only has $10,000 in equity. So her biggest headache might be like, hey, I don't want to deal with with this tenant, and the property needs a little bit of repairs. Let's say those repairs are $10,000. So what you might be able to do is put it on the contract and then give her some money now, a little bit of money now, and then some money later at a later date. But what you're doing is you are relieving the headache that she has. There's a few more steps inside there. And to be honest, we talk more about that in a different training. And we also talk more about we call that our creative financing side of the business, which we also call the pretty house of the business, which I am absolutely obsessed with. And I love it. It's probably like my top strategy. And what I love about it is that you can get into deals with very little to no money. And also little to no money. Here's another piece. Little to no money doesn't mean that no one's getting any money, or it's only little to no money coming from you. It only means that there's little to no money coming from you. But that does not mean that the money may not come from a private lender, another place, or another source that might be giving the money. Like maybe you put it on the contract and you're using your buyer's money to fund the deal or fund some of it. So there's a lot of different ways. And this call is actually not designed to go too much into that, but I wanted to answer your question of what are some ways to buy properties with little to no money out of your pocket. So let's see what else we have here. Lisa, I heard about wholesaling, but some states do not allow that. Can you do wholesaling in New Jersey? Yes, you can do wholesaling. And to be honest, I've been wholesaling for 20 years and I've never heard a state that says you cannot wholesale a property. I've never heard that. And if there is a state that says that, then there will be a very similar sister strategy to wholesaling that is almost as equal to it. There are certain rules to doing wholesaling in certain states that is accurate, but to say you are not allowed to buy a property at a discount and sell it for a profit is I have never ever heard of that.
I never hear that.
And we all hope that we would never hear that, because think about that logically. That means if a property was distressed and beat up and it was in just horrible condition, that would say that an investor cannot go in, buy the property, fix it, and sell it. So that's not going to happen because this country is built on us's, we, you, me. How do you think all the places when the storms hit and they get destroyed and the homeowners leave, who fixes that up? We do. We are the investors. It's our money, our time, our creativity to make all those things, all those properties turn back into livable properties. It's not the government. It's not the poor people. It's not the rich people that are out there with their construction crews doing it. It's us, the investors, that are going inside there and making it happen. That's right. Oh, my boy Carl Lenz is on the call. Oh, what is up? Shout out. Carl, I need to talk to you. I got some stuff. We got to talk. I am so glad to see you jump on this call. Sorry, I just seen an old good friend from the past, and that is mostly because, Carl, I manifested you. Wow, that's crazy you are on here. I'm so excited. Sweet. Hit me up. You got my number. Let's talk. All right. Whew, I'm back. Is the business possible in Manhattan at any chance?
Yep.
Absolutely, it works in Manhattan. Manhattan, in any aggressive market, you're just going to have to be aggressive. You're going to have to raise your, if before the marketing was, you had to push this much marketing, now you're going to have to push maybe double, triple the marketing. So that is how you're going to have to deal in those types of market. You're just going to have to be more aggressive. So, and it just makes sense. If everyone's moving fast in Manhattan and you're a slowpoke, you're beat. You're not going to make any money. But if you're working fast in Manhattan just as fast as they are and using the strategies that they are, you're going to get your share of it. So there are definitely opportunities. And stop and think for a second. Are there people that are willing to sell their property? Are there people that have to sell their property in Manhattan?
Always.
Yes.
Always.
Are there people that have beat up properties in Manhattan? Yes. Are there people that have inherited properties that are, need renovation? Yes. So you can still do it there. Yes. Oh, the sound went off. We can't hear you.
Check and see. Oh, wait.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, so if you guys can hear, it's just
a
little
if
comment.
If you can hear me, type inside there. I can hear you because I just saw somebody that said the sound went off. All right. So we're going to keep on talking. Can you hear me? Type. My brother's actually hearing impaired, so I do a little bit of sign language.
Okay.
Oh, you can hear me. Okay, great. Okay. Wasn't quite sure what was going on.
Might have been a little.
All right. Let's see here. Much better. Is it advisable to use a mortgage for the first flip? A mortgage, probably not a traditional mortgage. More of a hard money lender. Yes, I would definitely advise getting yourself lined up with hard money. Why the difference between mortgage and hard money? Mortgage is slow. Hard money is fast. When you're dealing in our arena, your competition is fast. Thank you, Anelia. So your competition is fast. And a lot of times when you go to close with a, like, let's say you go on MLS and you look the realtor website and you find a property and you make the correct offer and you buy it at the right price. And I'm going to say this 3 times. You make the correct offer. You make the correct offer. You make the correct offer. And you're able to, put a poll up. Sorry. And you make the correct offer. They're going to want to close quickly. And they're going to want really no contingencies on the contract. Meaning,
right.
So like if you go to Chase Bank and you get a loan, they're going to say, well, we want to come and inspect it. We want to make sure everything is right, dot all the I's, cross all the T's, and do everything that is like a regular loan. And those sometimes can take 30 to 60 days when a hard money lender really understands what we're doing. And they're like, hey, I know the property needs repairs. We're going to send somebody in there, but they're in and out in a day.
Yep.
And we know what you're doing. They're going to lend you a lower loan to value, but speed is a conversation. Speed and availability of money. Do you pay more? Yes. A regular bank loan right now might be 5%. Hard money lender might be 12% and 2 points.
It's irrelevant.
But if you want the deal and you want to move fast, hard money is the way to go.
Yeah.
Private money is even better.
That little deal was hard money.
Yep.
The deal we're closing.
So we still use hard money all the time.
It was quick.
Yes. All right. Let's see here. So we're just answering these questions, thinking along. If you have any other questions, just put them inside there. We're just going to plug along and answer questions. Today turned into question and answer day, which I'm all good for. I love answering these questions. I can't guess. It's on my mind. Okay. So you have that. You guys can hear me. James can hear me. MC, maybe you can log off and log back on. Sharon. Hey, Sharon, I see you there. We sound good. I hear myself. And everyone's hearing. Well, I don't hear myself. I hear myself because my ears are here and I can hear my voice. That's supposed to be a little funny.
Are they going to get a recording, a copy?
Yeah, we'll send out the recording. It'll be a link.
So anything that you missed,
you can get that.
Just listen back on it.
All right. So
Cool.
We got a few more minutes. We'll answer a few more questions inside here. Can you do it in Manhattan? Yes. Points and percents are confusing. So yes. So, I'm going to go into our little presentation that we had here before, and I pushed it off, but I'm going to, let's see what we got here. I'm going to pull that one off. That's not what I want to talk about. So let's see. Nope, I guess it's gone. But you know what? I do have some questions that we can answer. So here, Zach, I'll call you later. Zach, I have a question for you. All right, so let's go back to this deal.
Okay.
So you found this deal. You started networking. What are you doing to? So you found the deal. You put it on the contract. Mm-hmm. Tell me about the renovation. Let's talk a little bit about renovation.
Oh, this was nice.
Who did the renovation? Did you do work? Did you do it? Let's talk about that.
So on this one, I actually had a partner on this one.
Okay.
So I had a partner and I used hard money. So my partner came in with the funds for the upfront capital, all the gap funding, all the renovation draw money. To do the repairs, I have a licensed contractor that's on my team it was actually working on a previous rehab already, and it was 15 minutes away. He did all the work. So he pulls all the permits. He did all the work. Luckily for this deal, I didn't need any permits. The renovation budget for this one was only... I think the renovation budget was $19,500, and we came in under budget, which is great. So what did that look like? It was flooring, paint, cabinets, countertops, fixtures, landscaping. Nothing really crazy. All cosmetic stuff.
Have you worked with this? You said you worked with this contractor before. How did you find him?
Referrals.
Where?
Other investors.
Rapid fire, bang, 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 bang.
I'm like, other investors, I'm like, look, I need a GC in this town. I need a good general contractor. Who do you guys recommend that has done projects for you before? Because here's the reality when it comes to contractors, whether you're the GC and you sub it out or you're doing multiple and you need a GC, one rule, I work with grown, responsible adults. That's it. Anybody else, the fly-by-night companies, they don't fly. They're fly by night. I don't deal with it. So anybody that works on my projects, they're licensed, insured, if it requires it. Sometimes if it's like a painter, he doesn't have to have a license as a contractor for permit. There's no permits to paint. But they all have insurance and they all have referrals, and I pre-screen them.
Okay, so you pre-screen them. When you're pre-screening them, what are you doing to pre-screen and get a good contractor on your team?
So first of all, they need 3 referrals from people that I personally know, because at this point I know enough people. I want to see projects that they've previously done, so a portfolio, projects they're working on now. I want the addresses, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive by. If it's something like painting, you have a good painter, which I don't take that lightly. I don't like painting. So painting, I want a quality painter. I want to see projects that they've done. If it's something heavier like a framer or sheetrock or something, I want to see current projects they're doing now. A contractor should be doing deals. They should have gigs. They should have jobs. I'm going to do a walkthrough of their other project. And then the other piece is they have to be cool with an independent contractor agreement.
Yeah, what does that mean?
So an independent contractor agreement, it is mandatory. Anybody that steps on site has it. It is an agreement between me and the contractor as to what the job is, individual for each job, what the budget is, how they're getting paid, when they're getting paid. If they finish early, I give them a bonus. If they're late, they get a penalty. Okay. It is all on there.
So that independent contractor agreement is a tool that you keep them on track.
Yep.
What would you say penalty? Like, let's say the job is they're gonna do paint. And so let's say it's paint and they're painting the property and it's gonna take them. They write on the contract that it's gonna take a week to get done.
Okay.
And the job is $2,000. Let's say it's $3,000 to paint the inside and outside of the house. What kind of penalty might you have, and what does that look like?
So for something like that, the outside would be weather permitting. Obviously, if it's raining, it's not their fault, so that's fine. But if let's say it's just interior paint, and they say they need 5 days, I will give them 6. I'll give them an extra day. However, if on day 7 we go and inspect and it's not done, it's typically like $125 a day until they finish.
Okay.
So it's pretty steep when you're talking a $3,000 budget. 2 days, that's $200-$300.
Yeah.
It's like 5% a day.
So a lot of times why we put that into place is because that keeps everyone honest and clear. So if they're saying, hey, they're not going to come and do it, I've had contractors that were like a week behind, and then they're like, hey, I realized I messed up here, man.
Yeah.
And half of my profit is gone, and I'm like, yeah. And so I let them know, and I keep them on track, and I don't want to hold their money. I just want our job done.
I like writing checks. That means stuff's getting
done. Let's just get it done. We're here for the big money. Zach doesn't care about $125 a day. I don't care about the $125 a day penalty. We want the $53,000 check.
Yep. That's the goal. And here's the reality. Like, if they've done a lot of projects for me and, you have a good rapport with them, because you are very, you spend a lot of time with your contractors and GCs. You really do, especially on projects. You're seeing them every day or every other day. You're talking to them all the time. If something real life happens and comes up and it's a one-off, they've done 5-6 projects for you, I'll probably waive that fee because I know they'll work the weekend to come and get it done. Yeah. And if it's a 1 day off and they're behind by 1, I'm usually not hitting a thing like that, especially if they have a good reason or, I'm cool, It's just all about open lines of communication. There you go. Say it again. Open lines of communication. And we want fair and clean and easy in between us and the contractor. Cool. So that's why we use that. Awesome. I've dealt with some horrible contractors. And so inside here, this is part of building and your education. Yeah. This is again one of those things that Zach and I worked with for a while. Is like, all right, how do I deal with contractors? And a book is going to teach you one thing, but my nightmares that I've had and the whippings that I got on my back here from dealing with bad contractors and them beating me down, and then me learning the right way to do it, and then I'm more in control of what is going to happen and what's not going to happen with a contractor, and being able to pass that over to him where he's able to do a rehab with the least amount of challenges. Do things happen? Of course. Sure. Things happen in everyone's job. Everybody that's on this call, when we're at your job, things happen. So we're just trying to alleviate and minimize the things that are happening and know how to come and deal with them, that they're not crises as they come up, and they're just challenges and we fix them. So that's where we are. All right. Woo. Let's see. How big in the area are you working? One state or several states? So Gabby, this is you.
For the most part, we work right here in New Jersey. We will go a little bit out. Like I've done some New York stuff. I personally have done deals in other states. I know that Zach has done a few in other states. I have done in California and Chicago and Connecticut and Florida and Texas and a bunch of other places in between in South Carolina. But it was not because I went hunting them. Those were just opportunities that came to me with someone that came and said, hey, I want to partner on a deal or something of that kind of nature. And I was bringing, the brains to the process and we worked and partnered. So maybe a little, so that was usually the mechanics behind that. But a better question is, Jason, do you go and hunt for deals in California or Florida? No, I do it right here. The grass is green where we live.
Yep.
The promised land is not out there. The promised land is here. This is the promised land. That was one of the things that my mentor taught me is like, yo, you don't need to go far. For what? Well, less competition. Then all of a sudden when you get there, it's like, oh, sure, there's competition. And then you go to the next place and then there's competition. It's different if you truly are in a flooded and saturated place. And I mean truly. Where we are here, it is not flooded and saturated. There's a lot of new investors. There's a lot of, and I'm going to say this gently, there's a lot of new non-educated investors that flood the gates. And once you get educated and you start putting marketing in place, you're going to be so far ahead of them that it's not even a conversation. We never talk about competition. In fact, our competition, we buy houses from. We sell houses to. We become allies and we work together and we all together make more money than if we worked by ourselves and made less money.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes. It's money here in Rochester, New York, where just need a trainer. Norman, we could talk about this. So let me talk about that for a quick second. So we do coaching and we do training and we do some mentoring. If you put your email inside here, we will be more than happy to send you a link to what we call a strategy session. And that strategy session, we'll talk about what you got going on and how we might be able to come and help you. And I'll say this, we're not always a match for everybody. We're looking, when we get involved with people that we're going to work with, they definitely have to be extremely serious about doing this. And it's okay if you want to have a conversation and say, hey, I'm brand new. I just want to kind of get a little know about it. That's fine. I'm okay with that. I want to be of value to you. For us to get involved in it, we want to make sure, like, if we personally are going to coach or mentor or do any kind of training like that, we want to just have a commitment from your side saying, hey, look, I'm really serious. I am so committed to getting my business to the next level. And we would be more than happy to do that. So I have a deal that you may want to come and partner with us. All right, perfect. If you have a deal that you want to partner, put your email there and we will come and set up a time in the next day or so and have some time to come and speak to you and tell you, what we can do with you. So look, I'm serious. I'm definitely great. I'm happy for that. I am so excited. So as you can see, our model together and how we work is that we are extremely passionate and have a lot of energy in what we're going to do. That's number one. Number two, the level of information that we have in our head and being able to buy and sell and structure and marketing and build all that, not just for us, but be able to give that to you so that you can have all of that is definitely available for that. And we know that we know that there are a lot of hungry people out there. I was that hungry guy. I wanted the information. I just wanted someone to help me and hold me by the hand and walk me through the process to success. And that's, to be honest, that is my secret sauce.
Yeah.
I didn't do it myself. I showed up. I raised my hand that I wanted to come and do it. And I educated myself. I paid for my education and I implemented. I did it. I did like Nike said, just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. And that's how success came. So if you want to talk about that, I am absolutely open to our strategy session and putting the strategy session inside there. I don't know if Anelia can pop that strategy session link in there while we're speaking right now. Maybe she could find that for us, and you can just do that yourself. So I have another question here. We'll keep on with the questions. Just let's pause for a second. I have a question. If you like this information, can you put I like it, I love it, it's awesome. Like, just let us know that we're right on track, because it's us talking here, but it's all about you and being able to deliver great information that you want. Because right now we are just Q&Aing across the board and just like trying to give you as much information that you like. So let us know that you're liking this, that it's awesome, that this is what you're looking for. Just type that in the comment section. That'd be great. All right. So here, how do you feel about deals with violations on them? Woo! Hot question came up. How do I feel about deals that have violations, like code violations? I love them. I love them. And why? So the reason why I personally love them is because a code violation can be a big problem for someone selling. And there could be fees stacking and stacking and stacking. I mean, stacking like way above what even the property's worth.
Yeah.
But here's the trick behind that. Here's the awesomeness behind that. The awesomeness a lot of times is the governing bodies are very willing to release those liens and judgments and violations if you just talk to them and say, hey, I'm considering buying it. They have all these liens on it and these fines. Can we get those fines removed? Number one. And a lot of times they'll be like, yeah. I'm like, hey, I'm new. I want to buy the property, but they're kind of stuck because they can't make it happen. They can't sell it because of those fines are there. And a lot of times they'll say, yeah, they'll waive it. They'll give us like 6 months waiving. If we finish all the work that are the code violations in 6 months or 4 months or 3 months, that they will waive all of it. So there might be $100,000 that is waived. And with that being said, and I have that letter in hand, and let me tell you what could be a big violation: cracked concrete in front of the property, the roof caved in, the safety issues. And a safety issue could be that the windows don't open and close. That's a safety issue. The stairs are rickety and falling and cracked. And meaning, you know, the step, the part where you step on, if those are cracked, it could be just, hey, put new wood. Wood is cheap. Put new stairs. A whole new staircase is pretty inexpensive. It could cost you just $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 for that. But there might be a $40,000 lien or code violation on that. So I love those types of deals. And but I would not buy it unless I spoke to the bodies that had the liens and judgments. I will tell you another thing. There are liens and judgments on properties that are even tax IRS and local taxes you're definitely going to pay. Meaning like property taxes you're going to pay. But let's say a lien where a third party had a lien on the property and they can't sell it. And let's say they went up, if they were even a payment or two behind, a lot of times I'm able to go to that person that, let's say the house is worth $200,000, they owe $150,000, and the lien is $100,000. I'm able to go to that person that has the lien and say, hey, look, you're not going to get all that money. So how about we figure out how you could get some money versus no money? And a lot of times they are so willing to play ball. That lien has been sitting there for years, making them no money.
They cashed out.
They want to get cashed out. I might get, I can settle that lien for pennies on the dollar, literally pennies on the dollar. So I love all of that kind of stuff. So what's your thought on liens? Properties that have liens.
I like them. I usually don't go for anything too crazy. I don't feel like going in front of judges and talking to all them just because of the time frame. But on the smaller ones, a lot of the time people don't even realize that they've had a lien or a judgment or a list pendants against them. So I like them if they're not overwhelming. Like I'm the opposite. So he likes the real overwhelming ones because he can negotiate the dollars, the cents on the dollar. Me personally, I just prefer the easier ones because then I can step into create a financing deal where, part of my agreement is I pay off those liens for the seller. But they're willing to be flexible with me on how I can buy the property. That's my golden ticket.
And that's fair. And sometimes that's why it's a great combo, because he could find it and say, hey, I got something with a bunch of liens, pass it to me. And I'll tell you, here's another thing. When I find something that has a lot of liens, I just give it to the attorney. I got an attorney that I'll pay like pennies on the dollar. and they'll do all the negotiating for it. So I don't even do anything. That's why I love it. All right. So let's see right here. I'm looking for deals on multifamily rentals. Do you come across many from wholesalers? We'll answer that. Zach and Jason, you two are the best. Oh, Norman, yo, thank you so much, man. He says that Zach and I, awesome. We are the best.
Thank you.
Woo, you make me feel good. You make me. I'm excited that I came out. Just to, I'm so glad that you guys are loving it and embracing it. So let's answer some more questions here. So you're looking for deals on multifamily rentals. Do you come across many from wholesalers? So do I come across many from wholesalers? Yeah, actually, we come across multifamilies. I think the more you put out to the universe and the more you put out to the people that what you are looking for, the more you find.
Yeah.
I think that is something that's important. If you keep it hushed to yourself, nobody knows, so they're not talking to you about it. But if you put it out there, multifamily, everyone, multifamily, keep me on top of mind. Multifamily. That's what they're going to come and do. And one of the other things that you see here is, you would probably imagine that when I send my marketing out, that I'm looking for a deal, I'm coming from a position of confidence. And that was one of the things that Zach and I had worked on in the beginning, where saying, hey, you're brand new, you're starting off, but you're going to come and make your marketing have confidence behind it. Mm-hmm. And he leaned on me to build his confidence, where I'm going to say the same thing is available to you. What do I mean by that? So I've always been a buyer. I've been investing for 20 years, 800 houses. I'm a lot of buying. So I told Zach, I says, anything that you bring to the table, I want to be the first buyer.
Yeah.
So now Zach's got all this confidence in saying, hey, Jason's buying. I need to go find a deal because right. Jason's going to buy the deal. By the way, any deals that you do find, please let Zach and I know. We want some deals.
I still buy houses.
We buy houses, exactly. So I just want you to know.
People always get confused. I'm like, no, I still buy them. Like,
we will shamefully plug all the time. We buy houses. By the way, if you know somebody that has a house, if you know somebody that might know somebody that has a deal, please let us know. All right. So, do I work with real estate agents? Yes, we do. When we work with real estate agents, most of them are a lot of the old real estate agents. And I know there may be some agents on the call. I love agents, but a lot of times they don't work our style. They're more on the retail type of investments. And they don't normally get what we're looking to accomplish. So when we work with realtors, we're mostly working with properties that need renovations. And so they are bringing us those types of deals. And not to be confused with the creative side of the business. On the multifamily stuff, the realtors are typically bringing us more retail type properties that you're going to pay on the higher side. How we find our multifamily properties is by doing our own marketing. We will specifically we will buy a list from our list broker that says, give me every property in, let's say, Middlesex County that is between 2 and 10 units. And that the seller has owned the property for, let's say, 20 years. Why 20 years? For a few reasons. Number one, one of the reasons is I want to make sure that whoever's when we buy the list, if we say just send us every multifamily, there's going to be thousands of properties. Mm-hmm. I don't want to come and talk to thousands. I want to talk to just the right ones. So I'll say, give me from 2 families to 10 families. Why? Because those are most likely going to be private individuals. Someone that's owned the property for more than 10 years, they have less of association. They're less like, oh my God, this is my brand new 2-family house. Oh my God, I paid all this price. They're not attached to it that way. In fact, it's probably the opposite. They've been beat up by tenants over and over and over, that when it's time to come and sell, that they're looking and they're saying, hey, I just want to sell it for what I own. I just want to get out of it. And if they own it for 10 years, maybe it's less likely that they've stood on top of the management issues. So now they may have management issues, repair issues, and tenant issues, the perfect trifecta. And I'm going straight to them where now they're like, at a certain point of vulnerability where they're saying, I just want to get rid of this. I wish someone would buy it. And boom, there goes my letter. Boom, there goes my postcard. Boom, there goes my text message. Boom, there goes my phone call. And that's how we put those together. So 1 second. So I just saw, we just put a link. If you want a free strategy session with myself, you can sign up by using the link that is attached there. That is going to take you to my page where you can actually see my schedule. You can pick your call time, and it will say, that's when you and I will have a one-on-one private conversation about your real estate investing and where you might want to go with that and what particular needs you might have, and see if we may be a fit. So we call it a strategy session, and the link is there. I'm going to put it back inside here because hopefully everyone saw it, but I'm going to put that there. So you can just take that link, copy it, and set up your strategy session. All right. So we are going to answer a few more questions and then wrap this call up. And I think we'll wrap up with you. So let's see. Okay. Let's see the next question. How about buying land and buildings for lease? We don't do the land and building piece inside there.
Skip.
Is Trenton an okay place to invest? There's a lot of lots that are cheap. Again, if you're buying lots, we don't necessarily buy lots because lots they're not easy to buy and they're harder to come and sell.
I usually buy existing. For me, I have added a level before, but I'm not the new construction guy for my model for my rehabs.
Tell us what is a good, let's answer this question.
Yeah.
So you're a new investor.
Okay.
Very little money.
Okay.
Let's say they're going to get a little bit of coaching and they want the easiest path. What do you think that might be for them?
Well, I would start with wholesaling. That's by far the easiest one. And the reason why is because no matter what exit you use, whether it's a rehab that you sell at market, you're going to buy it and hold it, it's a creative. Everything in the beginning piece of that deal is exactly the same. You have to learn that process regardless.
Okay.
So
the structuring the deal is the same?
Structuring the deal is the same.
And you're saying that the marketing to buy the property is the same also, right?
Same. Yep. Same thing. I recommend wholesaling for a couple of reasons. In the beginning, you can do it part-time. Most people work. I worked full-time while I did it. Taking on a rehab, you need more time and bandwidth. That's the first piece. Besides that, also, in a newer business, just getting started off, you need a win. You need a win, and you need it quickly. You don't want to wait 6 to 8 months to get that check. Your business needs probably a quick injection of cash faster than it needs a rehab check 6 months from now.
Sweet. Listen to that. So part of it is very important to come and say, when do you need your cash? And I want you to type in there. Do you want your cash now? Let's say $10,000 now, or do you want maybe $40,000 in 6 months? Because you're brand new. Let's say it takes 6 months. And you decide, do you want $10,000 now or $40,000 in 6 months? Type inside there, 10 now, 40 in 6 months. And that's important because a lot of times these are a lot of new investors and they're saying, well, yeah, I want money, but when money?
Right.
So I'm glad you brought that to the table. Again, outstanding info, and definitely something to think about because yes, there are both two types of money. One is now, one is later. And for some people right now are saying, give me that $10,000 right now because that's what I really need. I need $10,000 now versus, $40,000 in 6 months. Look, and we got,
sure.
We got some people saying $10,000 now. We got some people saying, give me 40 in 6 months. Perfect. That's why it's awesome. But, and we keep on asking those questions. We got somebody else that just said $10,000 now. So that's how we help you and build you and figure out what is it that you want in your business and what do you need now. And then you can build. Because could you have both? Absolutely. But if there was only one and you're starting off brand new and you needed to focus on one, Norman, look, he's like $10,000 now. Hello.
It depends on what you and your business need at the time of the deal. You know, it really does. Sometimes it's like, oh, if you have 3 wholesales in the pipeline and you get this really easy rehab, you're like, I might take that one.
Perfect.
But if you're like, hey, I need to pay down some debt, I have some credit cards, I need to, have a car payment and stuff like that, and I just deployed a marketing campaign, you may want to recapture that money real quick so that you can pay all that off and just focus on the next deal. So you might take that wholesale fee as opposed to waiting the 6 months for a rehab.
Awesome. So we're going to wrap this up here. I want you to think of last minutes. So I think that last piece was very, very important. Why? Because it comes back to asking yourself a real world question. I am so in the real world. I love to give all the information. But for me, and what's important to me and my family is that I feed my family today. Real money. Not hypothetical money, not equity money. Like I need to feed them now. So I like what you said about, hey, look at this whole thing and then answer, where do I need my money? So last words.
Oh, that's so tough, man. I don't know. So last words. So first of all, thank you everybody for signing on. It was great. You guys were awesome in the participation part.
Yeah.
This turned into a Q&A, which I'm cool with because it delivers on what everybody kind of needs. Hopefully we'll have some strategy sessions with some of the people on here, and hopefully we will do some deals together.
And the link is right there on the top. You can fill that out, and we can have a strategy session. Yeah. So
last words, I would say, if anybody has a deal, Lisa, I saw you mentioned a couple things. We'll definitely come and talk. We can do that tomorrow. I'm perfectly cool with that. I'm looking to buy another property because I'm cashing one out tomorrow. So my wheelhouse, I got money.
Oh, and not only that, but if you do have a good deal, let us know because we have a very huge database. How many people you got on your database?
I think I just broke 1,100.
1,100 people
Local
just
investors.
in his database. We got a few thousand people in our database. Not to mention, that we have this meetup group that has over 1,500 people in that little database right there. Not to mention my own database that I have a few thousand people on that database. And so my last words of wisdom. Number one, educate yourself. Do not treat this like some little hobby. Treat it with the respect that it deserves. This is a business that will create huge, monstrous amounts of money that you can come and provide for your family and provide abundances for yourself, your family, and the people around you. So take your education very seriously. This whole conversation, I see a lot of people that you said you loved it and it was more, and I promise you we will have more webinars. We are back on track. We've been rocking and rolling with deals and doing a bunch of stuff, but we are going to do a lot more of these webinars. Talk to you later. My name is Jason Rodriguez. I love buying houses and helping people be outstanding and the best that they can be. I'll talk to you later.
Bye. Thank you.